Welcome to the International Yoga Day. As I mentioned in the announcement video, yoga is the most misunderstood of all the terms uh, in Indian philosophy. It's very loosely used, even in the scholarly circle. I'm not going to go into that scholarly presentation. I'm going to make it very, very simple. What is the correct understanding of yoga? I think the best definition of yoga comes from Patanjali. In his Yoga Sutra, he says, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga is stopping the mind. The mind keeps on expanding, and that's the problem. And yoga helps you to stop the mind. Why do you have to stop the mind? Because once you stop the mind, then you have darshan or vision or experience of your real self. We are living in the nano technological world. We are trying to look at things that are minute. We are no longer going after things that are gross because we have found that power, intelligence reside in subtler forms of realities. The yoga says that the subtlest form is the absence of the mind, the absence of thoughts. And that is real yoga. Yoga is not simply a physical exercise. Unfortunately, that has become the case. I don't even care to pay attention to stopping the mind. If you stop the mind, what happens? You are into the nano world or a world beyond the nanotechnology. The Buddha used a different term, nirvana, which is the dying of the mind and living the super consciousness. And that is the real wealth. The real wealth lies not in blah blah, whether even if it is an intellectual blah blah or a goofy blah blah, it's all blah blah. So the highest teaching lies in pure silence. There is no pulsation within the mind. Everything comes to a stop still. And what happens at that time? At that time, you have the vision of the highest self, which is you yourself. And what is the gain? The gain is then you can understand that you can do and create everything. You attain the highest concentration in a state where the object is not there, even yourself ceases to exist, your consciousness or the observer is gone, the observed is gone. And at that time, you have great intelligence. And in the introduction to doing miracles, the Vibhuti Pada, Patanjali talks about this greatest concentration called samadhi. Again, that misunderstood terms. People think that samadhi is a trance. No, it's not a trance. It is perfect concentration. So the purpose of yoga is to attain perfect concentration in which there is no thought. Arthamatra nirbhasham, surupa sunyam iva samadhi. The samadhi, which is not trance, but a state of concentration in which you are able to accomplish everything you think and manifest. Naturally, some people have it, people who have been following me may remember that I have said that Nicholas Tesla, a genius who lived unnoticed, even when he was young, when he thinks about something like a banana, the banana will appear before him. The doctors thought that he was mentally ill, or there was no medicine for that, and he had similar experiences like that. So the purpose of yoga is not getting lost, is not getting going to the Himalayas and leaving your family, leaving your job. It is a matter of gaining the supermind. The purpose of yoga is to gain the supermind. And what are you going to do with the supermind? You think and manifest. And in order to think and manifest, you need to be in yoga. And yoga is the real self. In the real self, the ego is gone, the mind is gone, everything is gone, but there is perfect awareness. It is a matter of systematically training the mind. If you read Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, you see him taking you through steps. Ultimately, you will realize that you can create whatever you want to create, and then you will know that the subject and the object merge in a condition where there is no mind. The object and the subject are one and the same. So that is the purpose of yoga. That is pure mind training leading you to develop the super consciousness. So that is yoga. So I want to emphasize this point on this yoga day. And those people who go and do yoga exercises, that's fine, because the body is very important. And we have to keep the body in good health, and the yoga exercises are very, very good, and I totally agree, and I don't have nothing against it. But then, if you don't understand the true meaning of yoga, is to develop super normal powers to be able to manifest everything that you want to manifest, is the meaning of yoga. And it has some significance. Those people who are it's important for politicians and economists and rulers of the different countries across the world will find yoga meaningful to develop a new economy. And by investing in yoga. And it doesn't cost any money at all. Yoga has to be made mandatory in schools and colleges, but the yoga that I am talking about, along with the physical yoga, of course. Because once you teach somebody how to manifest, how to create wealth, then there is no need for the government to work so hard and then try to help come up with programs to help the poor people. Then there won't be any poor people at all. If everybody is able to manifest by virtue of his own ability to create things, then we have a great world. So yoga alone, I want to repeat it, yoga alone has the ability to help change the world, to change human consciousness. And this is the only education that can create the Satya Yuga, the golden age. You can take anybody and then train him in yoga, so that he understands how the creative process takes place. Like everybody becomes, in other words, a Nicholas Tesla, just by manifesting your thoughts. So, by going into that area and then creating a thought from that level. And if you go into all my teachings, I place a great emphasis on manifestation. So about 90% of all I teach um are all about manifestation, because it is we are living in this material world and we cannot forget about that, and yoga can help with that. But unfortunately, many people have misunderstood yoga not only as an exercise but also a process to obtain mukti, which is going away, liberation, going away from the world, and then not helping with manifestation of material resources. That's wrong. So there should be a campaign all over to uh, have a renaissance for the true yoga. Yoga is a economic should be an economic policy. It should be something that has to be practiced by everybody. Now, let's talk about the techniques. Patanjali, whom I quoted as Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha, was a man who was very conscious. He knew how to manifest his thoughts, and he knew the use of language, and he used nano language too. He did not want to blah blah. All that, even right at the beginning, he says yoga is the stopping the expansion of the mind. Finished. And the commentators come and then write, pages after pages after pages, and still there are new commentators coming. And I have also commented on the Yoga Sutras in my teachings. But the most important thing is to understand while you are using Patanjali's Yoga Sutra is he, Patanjali, being a very conscious being, uses words in a way that and the sounds and the alphabets in a way that the very recitation of the sutra itself creates the effect, because this is the highest use of words. Words has manifesting power. So let me put it very simply for you. When you say yoga chitta vritti nirodha, chit, even if we say chitta vritti nirodha, if you say chitta is mind, chit is a higher state of consciousness. Vrit, it takes you to that uh, holistic level of consciousness, which is your higher self. Chit. When you say chit, you can practice it now. Chitta vritti nirodha. Chitta vritti nirodha. I can go and give a talk on this for about an hour at least. It's not necessary. As I said, the recitation of this sutra itself will give you uh, the absence of thoughts, will create absence, will diffuse the thoughts in your minds. That's a great thing. Now, I want to give you something that before that I want to say that I totally believe in the nanotechnology. We have to do things faster and quicker, and that is how we can succeed in this world of nanotechnology. We should live in nanoseconds. Anything that is going to involve time is going to be outdated, is being outdated, so that's not going to work. So what I have done, out of my many years of research in this lifetime and also many lifetimes, in this lifetime I find a crystallization of these research that I've been doing. So I have introduced a very simple practice that will give you a yoga condition. A yoga condition is a condition of getting beyond the thoughts and experiencing a higher state of consciousness. And this I call as the midbrain yoga. I wanted to call it because I'm going to talking to people who are interested in yoga. It is a midbrain yoga. And what you do is you can just close. I'm going to give you an experience. Just close your eyes and then go to this spot in between the two eyebrows. They call it brow chakra. And then what you do is tap, 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 tap. And now you experience the feeling in the areas where you have tapped. Going up, first you stop tapping from here. Just tap, just one tap in between the two eyebrows and feel it. And then move up, another tap, and move up, another tap, move up, another tap. And then feel the areas in the forehead where you have tapped. And then you will feel the whole brain to explode and the Kundalini to rise from the bottom of the spine. This is an yoga that I have developed that you can do it anytime. There are no hard and fast rules. Whenever you want to get out of your mind into a space, into a different space, this midbrain tapping yoga will be very, very helpful. You want to know more about it? I did a free 30-day program which just ended. It's on the Facebook. Every day I was teaching this midbrain tapping yoga with additional instructions on each day. So I want you to go and take a look at that if you want more information on that. So at any time when you are want to get into this higher state of consciousness, to the supermind. So what this midbrain tapping will do, it will open the midbrain and suppress the frontal lobe so that you will move from the domain of thoughts to a thoughtless domain. Now you can even now focus attention on the midbrain area, on the forehead area where you tapped. You still will have the feeling. The feeling will last for a few minutes. Not only a few minutes, whenever you focus attention on that area, then because you have tapped, you will be able to go into that yoga condition. So yoga is just union of the mind with the soul. And the mind that is producing thoughts, and that thoughts are gone. So I'm happy that the divine made it possible for me to share these thoughts with you and also give you this midbrain yoga, midbrain tapping yoga. And if you want more information, as I just mentioned, you can go to Facebook, or YouTube also carries these 30-day videos. God bless.